Okay, so hopefully you have paused the tape and have these distributed. The one on the left is the easiest one because we're dealing with all positive numbers. When you distribute, you take the outside number and you multiply it by both inside values. So 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 4y is 12y. The second one, we're distributing a negative 2. So it's negative 2 times x and negative 2 times positive 6. Well, negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times positive 6 is negative 12. And the last one, whether you have a calculator or not, it's negative 1/2 times 4x. So it's just like thinking, what's half of 4x? Well, that's going to be negative 2x. And then negative 1/2 times negative 2, what's half of negative 2? That's positive 1. So the most important step when you're distributing here is these are the trickiest ones. When you're multiplying this negative by a negative, you have to make sure you know, either using your calculator or just that you understand the rules that a negative times a negative is a positive. Okay, so today we're going to be solving equations. We're just going to add another step where we have to distribute. So we're going to follow the same steps as yesterday. Whatever we do to one side of the equation, we do to the other side, and we're going to isolate the variables using the inverse operation. So here's the first example. So 2 parentheses b minus 8 equals 28. So we have to know what b is, but we are not in that position yet because the first thing we have to do is actually distribute this 2 out. So that'll be 2b minus 16 is the same as 28. After we distribute, which is just one extra step, now we're ready to solve just like we did yesterday. I'm going to add 16 to both sides. Again, let me just reiterate, the reason we use the inverse is because negative 16 plus 16, those cancel out. We have 2b on this side, and we have 44 on this side. 2 times b equals 44, which means we'll divide each side by 2, and we'll find that b is 22. So I'm just going to kind of show this in the typed version just to show you step by step. The first thing we're doing is distributing that 2, and we're adding 16 to both sides. After we do the distributing, it's nothing different from what we've been doing all year long and what we went over yesterday. Example number 2, if you want to pause the tape and try it on your own, you can. I'm going to go through it now. So first thing I notice here is that the variables on the right-hand side, that doesn't change anything. Negative 2 times r is negative 2r. Negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. Notice how I'm reading everything to myself. That way I really understand what's happening and I'm not going to get tripped up. Okay, from here, I'm trying to get my r by itself. The first thing I have to do is get rid of this 8 from both sides. Those cancel out. Negative 2r equals negative 20 minus 8 is negative 28. To undo this, I'm going to divide each side by negative 2. So negative 28 divided by negative 2 is positive 14. Positive 14. If I wanted to check it, I could plug the positive 14 right back into my original equation. I would just, on my calculator, literally type in negative 2 parentheses 14 minus 4, close the parentheses, hit enter, and it will give me negative 20.